Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
An empowered woman to me is someone that exudes confidence, that feels like they can take their dreams, their ideals, and do what is necessary to bring them to light. They give themselves permission to be the best versions of themselves.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice and business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. One thing I don't talk about enough is the impact podcasting has had on my professional life and how it opened so many doors for me. So if you want to start a podcast or you want to level up your current one, then you need to work with my podcast strategist, Yolanda Smith. She owns a podcast marketing and production agency, and her team takes care of everything from editing and optimizing to scheduling for you, making this process a breeze for you. She's seriously the best. All her info is in the show notes. You can go to YolandaBarbati.com and tell her I sent you.
Marketing your business shouldn't feel like a mystery. Every busy entrepreneur deserves a process that provides clarity and peace of mind to empower you to grow your business with less stress and headaches. The Far Beyond Marketing Guidebook is your easy to read, easy to implement guidebook. Get it now and use code MARTA for 15% off. Visit farbeyondmarketingguidebook.com. Hi, Yolanda. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm excited to be here. It's such a pleasure.
Yes. So I want you to get us started by telling us who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive in more.
Absolutely. Yes. My name is Yolanda M. Smith. I am the brandtherapist, people growth leader. I am a personal branding expert and business strategist. So I help coaches and entrepreneurs to get and stay in business by unleashing the power of their personal brand. And so I have coaching through my coaching formula systems. I guide them so that they can really be able to articulate their value, live authentically. We got to be authentic for those genuine connections and stand out and get themselves out of the people pile so that they can have more influence, impact, and income in their careers and whatever it is they in life, period, right? In life, period. Yeah. So I've been doing that for quite a while. Actually, a corporate professional turned entrepreneur. Yep. So I worked in the pharmaceutical industry for several decades in senior leadership, and then decided to branch out on my own and really give the personal branding business strategy a try. I love helping entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. And I love the name of your business, Branding for Success. How did you come up with that? Which obviously it's self-explanatory, but I love it.
Yeah. So literally just trying to figure out something that would resonate, because one of the things, even as I teach branding, is so often we come up with names and people have no idea what it is you do, right? And so it's not intuitive. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, if I could change that, what would I come up with? And branding with the number 4, success, I thought was kind of a snazzy way to say it, but literally, I want you to be able to brand yourself so that you can stand out, get the recognition, visibility you need, be able to attract clients, and then have success, create optimal outcomes because you do the right things there. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I love that you use the word authentic. That is one of the indications that you're doing it well in terms of the personal brand. What are some of the key elements? Because sometimes people hear branding and they're kind of lost as well. Like it's a buzzword. I don't know what that means. I'll create a logo and that's it. I'll pick some colors. Tell us a little bit more, just for the ones that are clueless out there.
Actually, it's funny because contrary, it is not your logo. It's not your business card. It's not your website and your colors. That's your brand identity. Mm-hmm. But it starts first in identifying the brand, and the brand starts with you. Who are you? Who really are you? And what is the value that you can deliver to other people? And so when you can sort of understand that, I use really a 5-step system. Starts with authenticity for sure. And that's just because if you're not authentic, if you're not comfortable bringing your whole self, then 9 times out of 10, it becomes difficult to really create those genuine connections. And we know connections, the new currency, right? But beyond that, then it's being able to articulate your value. What is your superpower? How are you able to help people understand what it is that you do well and better than most people? Right? If you don't tell me, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. So we've got to do that. So that way they tap us on the shoulder and we attract the people that need what we have. Then the third is your story. And so it's about cultivating that story and really being able to succinctly answer certain questions. Who are you? What do you do? How do you do it? And why should I care? Because people ultimately, when they say, hey, tell me about yourself, they're really not interested in, oh, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, this thing. No, they're more interested in, I'm trying to figure out what you can do for me.
Yes.
And then creating that positive digital footprint, because by all means, we're not going back. It's a digital world. And then being able to master it, having that brand mastery where once you have the magnetic messaging, once you understand who you are. So it's the means by which people have a relationship with you and you become memorable. Because, Jeff Bezos said it best. Personal branding is what people say about you when you leave the room. So when you leave the room and they're gossiping, is it because they will? Is it positive or is it negative? Right? That's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference.
That is so true because they will. That's for sure. How often do you think a business needs to be looking into working with somebody such as yourself to then refigure it? Is it a matter of, well, I'm not reaching my goals, so maybe the messaging isn't clear, and then I need to work in the branding, or I'm going through a rebrand? Like, walk us through typically what kind of clients do you work with, or is it all across? Tell us more.
No, not all across. You know how that is. There's riches in the niches.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We try to get to everybody, we get to nobody, right? So really my ideal client are those coaches and entrepreneurs that have been in business for a couple years. They've made some money, but certainly they're not where they want to be. So they may be struggling with client attraction. They may be struggling to scale their business because they don't have the right systems process in place. They don't have the framework. And that's what makes it so exciting for me, is because I get these people that have great ideas and they go straight to tactics and we forget to build the framework, right? That is going to sustain us. So I think that's where my corporate background comes in and plays very well in terms of helping them strategically understand what is the vision and how am I going to get there? So it's that client. I work with some startups. They're typically professionals that are transitioning and looking for that next, right? Not quite ready to say, I'm going to get in the rocking chair, but they want to do some other things, but ready to leave the corporate environment. But those individuals, typically, even if they're not sure the what, they're ready to invest in themselves. They're committed, right? They're motivated to really want to do it. So it's more so that client versus the one that, I don't know what to do. I got to do this. I can't figure it out. That's cost too much money. I'm not good enough. When you have it like that, you got to start all the way back at the mindset issue, and work with them. So ideally, I'd like to work with those that have an idea of what they want to do, but maybe just don't have it all figured out, right?
That makes sense. I love that. Well, do you have any client stories or anyone that comes to mind that you can share a little bit about how they got to you and what you were able to create together? Because those are always fun. Anyone?
Yeah. So, I've worked with a lot of people, but one particular came to me, but she came to me because she just couldn't understand what was happening in her job. This was a professional. Okay. She was actually, I'll give you a professional and I'll give you a quick entrepreneur story, but the professional in her particular case, it was just not really articulating who you were, not standing up, not building those relationships. Literally, your network is tied to your net worth. Right. And so if you're not building those relationships, doing it. So this is what I would say. Her, like many others I get, everybody has a brand, but are you strategically and intentionally cultivating that brand? She was not doing that. And so you were leaving the narrative to somebody else, because think about it. If you're not telling your story, somebody else is, and that can be risky, right? So they're running the wrong narrative about her and she's just allowing it to happen. And it really just wasn't turning out well. And so what she ended up doing is working with me. We went through the whole brand discovery process, started really cultivating her story, getting her messaging together so that she could help and share with people her expertise and who she was, got her digital footprint tightened up, edited all her social media, and started intentionally adding value in the social media realm. And then from that, believe it or not, she actually was approached by an external company that wanted to do a partnership with her. And the partnership was so lucrative that she actually left her corporate job and went out and opened up her own consulting firm and really started her business that way. From an entrepreneurial standpoint, I had a practitioner. She was a nurse practitioner that had her own holistic practice, but needed to scale, right? And wasn't really sure. And so worked with me and really uncovered that it wasn't about becoming that one-stop shop and having everything come in, but it was really about saying, okay, what's your exit strategy? And if you were to sell the practice, what does that look like? And then, of course, there's the deer in headlights, right? What do you mean exit strategy? Because people want to add more on, not thinking about how am I going to exit this? Because you're not going to want to do it forever. I mean, no. And so helped her understand that. And what she ended up doing is adding on additional practitioners, staying true to the 2 or 3 things she was doing well versus adding all these other things. And now she's got a solid practice, went into a new building and everything, and she's thriving, right? Thriving, but she'll have a good opportunity to get a great valuation on that if she wants to do an acquisition.
That's huge. Thank you so much for sharing those stories. Yeah. There's just such value in having somebody prompt you with these questions, make you reflect on things you were not going to think on your own, period.
That's right.
The whole thing of if you're not telling your story, somebody else is telling it for you. It is very true. Back to what you said before, people are going to be talking about you. Now, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And is it in alignment with what you want to convey? So working with somebody like you can reflect that back to them and be like, this is how you're being perceived. Is that really what you want? It's so important.
Hey, neurodivergent entrepreneur, do you feel overwhelmed and exhausted by your to-do list? Well, it's not your fault. Increase your ease, impact, and income by learning to work with the way you are wired. Take the Intensities quiz right now to understand more about yourself, get strength-based tips, and join free virtual support calls to tackle challenging tasks. Go to intensityhub.com right now to get started.
Now, one of the things that I know you bring to the table is talking about resilience and how it is so important as an entrepreneur. And when we're talking branding, it's a journey, right? We're adding pieces, we're getting clearer as we grow, not only in business, but I think mature with age. We go through different seasons in life, like what we were saying, you're not going to want to do this forever. You got to think about a few years down the line if you want to sell the business. Anyways, tell me how resilience plays a part in all of it.
Here's the thing. I just say this, entrepreneurship particularly is not for the faint of heart, right? And if you even think about, I can remember being in corporate America and even as a woman and having so many challenges trying to climb the ladder. And there's always this glass ceiling or the goalpost felt like it was forever moving, right? Just trying to get where you wanted to get. And I think one of the things that plays a huge role in that is when you are comfortable in your own skin and you know who you are and the value that you can deliver. That's powerful. Because what happens then is that you may take a punch, you may bend over and buckle, but you're not going to fall. And if you do, guess what? You're going to get up. I say fall down 7 times, I'm up 8, right? That's that resilience factor. But it's because you know who you are. When we're unclear on that, we allow other people to define that for us. And so often we become what they say we are and therefore limit ourselves to the potential that we have. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that I really talk about is if you have a vision, you got to stay true to that vision and hold on to it long enough to see it to fruition, right? You have to hang on to it because what we will do is we'll get tripped up in circumstances and our circumstances don't define our potential. But yet we like to get distracted and caught up in all the whirlwind of all this other life be life and stuff that has nothing to do with us getting to our optimal goal. And so it's a matter of being focused. It's a matter of knowing who you are, being consistent and in action, and asking yourself, what is my why and how bad do I want it? Because if I want it, I just had a friend tell me the other day, she said, boy, one thing about you is that it doesn't matter if you decide you want it, you don't quit till you get it. No, I'm not. Doesn't matter what. You're not going to stop me from getting where I need to go. Now, sometimes I feel like God would derail me and say, maybe not that, but what about this? Because sometimes my way is not his way, right? But when you think about it from that way, it's just about really having enough belief in your own dreams, your own goals to say, you know what? I may have a road bump. I may have a twist in the road. I may have a mountain to climb, but it doesn't matter because I'm not stopping.
Yeah. Even before you said all that, I was going to ask you, were you always like this? Because I can tell just by your energy and how you talk, how you're so driven. And it's like, if I want something, I'm going to go and I'm going to get it. And then you mentioned your faith. Is that something that has been helpful throughout, that you have leaned on?
I have, but I think it's grown over time. That comes a little bit with maturity and experience too, right? It does. It does. You can kind of grow into it. But I was one that was truly blessed to have a great mom. My mother was a single parent, and we did not come up in the best of neighborhoods. But on the flip side, we didn't want for anything either, right? We didn't know. We were probably 2 steps from poor, but I didn't know it growing up. We had everything. We had food. We had fun. We played. We did the things kids do, right? It's not till you get to adult and look back and go, oh my God, yeah. But the reality is she always instilled that confidence. And you know what? It's funny because we talk about the power of the mindset. And it's true. Your thoughts dictate your beliefs drive your actions, and your actions drive your habits, which is why I tell people how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so you got to be conscious of that. And she programmed me. You can do anything you want to do. You can be anything you want to be. She had 3 criteria. You got to work hard, have faith in God, and treat people with respect. Those were her 3 things. And she said it enough that I actually believed it. I believed it. And so I've encountered many situations in my life that would have probably crushed and broken someone else. But I always knew, nope. She said, my mama said, and that was when my mama said, I can do anything I want to do. And I just believed it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's so helpful and so important to have those people in our lives that believe in us and instill those beliefs in us. And now, as mentors and coaches, we get to do the same thing and be a part of people's lives where we're the ones that say, if you want it bad enough, you can have it. I'll be with you.
People don't understand. It's your responsibility and your obligation to affirm yourself.
It is.
And to be your biggest cheerleader. It's not about arrogance. It's not about bragging. It's not those things. It's about you understanding who you are and not apologizing. That's what we do. And especially women. Oh my God, we dummy ourselves down so much. We'll dim our light to make other people comfortable. We get into this whole imposter syndrome paradigm just because we don't want to ruffle feathers. We don't want to be too much. Honey, I'm a lot, and I'm not dimming my light anymore. I'll give you a pair of sunglasses, but I'm not dimming that light.
I saw a meme the other day, actually at an event, and it said, I'm a lot of sass, a lot of other things. And it says, and the sooner you realize that I'm all that, the better for you. So just deal with that.
It is what it is. Thought you knew. Yeah, thought you knew. But and that was some of the challenges I had in corporate. I mean, they tried to stifle me a lot. And it's funny because, you go along when you need to get along, but I would ruffle some feathers. I was not the easy one. You know what I mean? I just wasn't, because I felt like I knew who I was, and why can't I be me? You get to come to work and be you. So why can't I be me? And so it's challenging. I think I was a firecracker when I was younger. And then I learned that you got to be a little strategic, right? And intentional with it so that you get the outcome you desire. You can't just be a loaded cannon, if you will, but you have to be more influential at that point, right? More
work the system to your advantage.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Well,
and get the right allies with you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's hugely important.
Very much is. So I do know you have something exciting coming up in December. Can you share more about the challenge that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's the 5-day brand domination and business challenge, and we're on season 8. This is such a game changer for people that if they're unclear on literally what their brand is, if they're really trying to get some clarity so that they can convey that in a way that people will understand it. If they're really trying, this is where you can come in and you're not sure, right? Trying to get that target market, understanding what problems you actually solve and the value that you can deliver. So we do 5 days where we really go in and give individuals an opportunity to learn branding from the true sense of personal branding, and then how that plays into the business. But not only that, we talk about the business framework. We give them tools and resources so they can create sustainable, right, frameworks. So they're not out of business within 5 years, right? Most businesses are out within 5 years. People give up, they quit. We talk about the whole resilience mindset piece. We give them opportunities to create their magnetic messaging and their story and to be able to practice that. But not only that, understanding the dynamics of social media and really why systems and processes are important and how do you create that blueprint, if you will. So when I tell you it is intense, but you leave there with some clarity and some action items because we create your strategy, your goals. It is amazing. It's 5 action-packed days. And I'm telling you, we go hard, we go strong. And there's 2 tickets. There's the general admission and then the VIP. But general admission is $97. VIP is $297. But that $297 ticket gets you an hour Q&A with me, asking anything you want relative to your business. So it's that one-on-one coaching in a group setting. And then, I mean, just amazing, just amazing. The reviews, if somebody went to Google my business and looked up the best brand coach, Yolanda M. Smith, Branding for Success, I'm telling you, you'll see the reviews and they are wildly insane. People love it and they repeat and come back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's going to be December the 8th through the 12th. And they can get there either through my website, branding4success.com, or I think you have a link that will also, you have a link that you will share with them that will get them there also. But yeah, that's one of those that I say, if you're looking for game changer strategies to really take it to the next level, bar none. I know I probably have one of the best challenges out there.
This is amazing. I mean, it's called brand domination. Just the name, and then everything you've just shared here is enough.
Yes, it's a lot.
I love that so much, and especially that it's 5 days. So plenty of time to learn, to get the value, and also
right. And it takes place at night. So it's just, it's literally like 3.5 hours at night. So you don't even have to take off work per se if you work during the day. It's just that you got to commit yourself to it's a challenge. Mm-hmm. So it's not easy for that reason. It's a challenge. Right. So you will do so much, the homework, the activities. It's amazing. Yeah, I enjoy it. I do. It wears me out. But when I tell you I enjoy it, because when you see the satisfaction when those light bulbs go off and people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is just what I needed. Then, it's all worth those sleepless nights and hours of preparation leading up to the challenge. But I'm telling you, it's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Sounds amazing. I'll make sure and put the link in the show notes for that. Well, before I ask you to tell us how to connect with you and how to find you, I'm going to ask you my $1 million question that I ask all my guests. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm sure.
Yolanda, what is an empowered woman then?
An empowered woman to me is someone that exudes confidence, that feels like they can take their dreams, their ideals, and do what is necessary to bring them to light. Feeling like they have permission. They give themselves permission to be the best versions of themselves. But not only that, they reach back and help other women and help them to become the best versions of themselves. And so we rise together, not alone, right? Nothing happens in a silo. So that's kind of how I look at that, Take charge, doing what you need to do, but taking others along with you.
That's right. Helping everybody up. I love that. Thank you so much. Tell us how people can connect with you. Where do you hang out the most? All across social media? What is your favorite platform? Tell us.
Yeah. So I have most of the platforms. So it's at Branding for Success. And the 4 is always the number 4. You can catch me on Instagram. You can catch me on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I play on TikTok sometimes, but not that much. I'm not a big TikToker, but getting better with YouTube because I believe that we got to create that community value with the videos. But certainly you can go to my website, branding4success.com, and check me out and see what's happening there. But I'm definitely linked into the whole social media field for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. This was lovely. It was great to be in your presence and in your energy. It lifted me up.
Thank you for having me. No, this is exciting. I mean, I think that the work that you're doing and the amazing things that and the platform you're providing is absolutely inspiring. And you know what? We do this together, right? Let's lift up together for sure. Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.